We have a lot of questions going into 2012, end of 2011 as it stands right now. One of the things as far as personnel goes is our right fielder for the past 3 years, Nick Swisher, Mr. Swishalicious, is up. We have an option to bring him back for about 10 or 11 million, something in that range. It's a good amount of money, but it's not break your back money for the Yankees. I'm just going to give you a quick recap on Swish's season. It started real slow, came on strong at the end of the year, ended up with like a high 270s batting average, I want to say. Had decent power, always a good clubhouse guy. Then comes the playoffs and just doesn't get any more hits. That's
third straight tank job in the playoffs.
Right. Shuts it off after game 162. As a team that needs to be built, choke city. I mean, as a team that needs to be built for the playoffs and expects to play into October, can we afford to have a guy like this on the team? When we're playing a game 163 and beyond.
I say we don't bring him back. The sabermetrics guys will say, and we're sabermetrics guys.
We are.
The sabermetric argument will say that if we're only looking at the numbers, then Swisher really does fit the Yankee mold. Takes a lot of pitches. A couple years ago, and I believe this season also was in the top 5 as far as number of pitches seen per plate appearance.
Usually is.
He's always been a patient guy, high on base percentage. Wear the opposing pitcher out. Works well as a switch hitter within Yankee Stadium as a short porch in right field. The reason why I would say we don't bring him back is to your point. 3 years is not a trend. 3 years is evidence. 3 years is evidence that he has not performed in the playoffs, whether he's been cold at the end of the season, like in 2009, or hot at the end of the season, like last year in 2011. It doesn't matter. He gets to the postseason, it's choke city. So you lose Swish and you bring in someone else, you give someone else a try.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to disagree with you to make this post a little more interesting, but I agree completely. I do love the fact that he sees a lot of pitches. I'm one of those guys, I don't care what pitcher you're going against. I want to see you work the count. I want to see make sure he's at 100 pitches by the 5th or 6th inning. So I love that about Swish, but I just don't know if he's a postseason player for us, a primetime player, as a lot of people like to say. He's let me down for the past 3 years, and as much as I want to respect him and appreciate what he does for the clubhouse, that lighthearted sense of humor is great, but if you're not getting the job done in October, you don't really belong to be a Yankee. And there's a lot of people we can put in there in right field that can bat 260, 270 in the New York Yankees lineup.
Absolutely. And potentially we can give a youngster a try.
Right. I don't know if it's one of our youngsters, though. I mean, tell me, do you think that a guy like Golson or even a Dickerson, who's actually a little bit older, deserves that shot in right field, or do you think that we could easily pick somebody up here?
Eduardo Nunez is not going to be our shortstop.
No.
Eduardo, because we've got Jeter in there next couple of years. He's not going to be a third baseman. We've got A-Rod. He's not going to be second baseman or first baseman. If he wants to get an everyday shot, and he has played right field a tad this past season, then I would give, when I go into the season with him, if you exhaust other power bat opportunities, I give Nunez a shot in right field because he's an electric player. Yeah. He's a poor defensive infielder. That's where you hide poor defensive players, is right field.
That's true.
He's electric on the base paths. There's a question mark as far as he is fast as Gardner or not. That means that he's pretty darn fast.
He's fast.
He's a stolen base threat. He can handle the bat. He's a known commodity because we've just watched the entire season. Why not give Eduardo Nunez an entire season in right field? We know we're going to get this from Swisher, which is failure in the playoffs. Right. Let's give Eduardo a shot.
I guess I'm willing to agree there. I would give Nunez the spot, but I'd really like to see us bring someone.
Yes.
I'd like to see.
Let's do the exhaust of that.
And it doesn't have to be a superstar. I'm not saying bring in Ryan Braun and move him to right field. Though I would say to do that. I don't know if we really could do that. I wouldn't mind a Josh Willingham from the A's, for instance, would be a good fit out there. I think he would move over to right field. But also, I don't think we could get that kind of guy. So with that being said, I wouldn't mind Nunez in right field. I didn't know he's played before. You threw that out to me.
Just at the end of the season, when it was kind of mop-up duty time.
When I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, right. He played right field.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's see him out there. Like you said, you can hide people there. He does have the speed for it. If he has a shortstop's arm, he should probably have a decent right fielder's arm then too. That translates, and that could make for a good 2012.
Swish, great clubhouse guy, great interview, great ambassador for the Yankees. Didn't perform in the postseason 3 straight years. That's evidence. Time to move on. Let's not pick up his option. I think we agree. And if we exhaust other options as far as free agency, give our homegrown guy a shot for our Nunez.
I agree.